I crashed out in public recently. After reflecting, I think the people that you surround yourself with are so important, okay? Don't put people on a pedestal. Don't think people are better than what they actually are and they're not going to do you dirty, because they most likely will. I have not crashed out like this in years, okay? That's not something that I would usually do, all right? However, I did do it. And am I proud of it?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
And here's the thing, I've always said this, no matter how hard you work, no matter how amazing you are in life, if you have bad toxic friends, you're just gonna revert back to your old cycles. Like, there's just no chance that you're gonna be your best self with like horrendous friends, okay? And so yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about today, is how to see the signs of a rat friend and to get those out immediately. Because honestly, I know the signs of a rat friend, I just didn't I wasn't exterminating them. So, and I'll just tell you stories of friends that I've had in the past. If you're like, oh my god, I have like sharp friends right now, I'm alone. No, you're not, because guess who's had them too? Me. So here's the thing, okay? Whenever I have friends, they are like I am so supportive of them. You could do the worst shark to ever exist, and I'm just like, hold on, I gotta look at that notification, because what? Anyways, like, I'm so supportive of you. You, like, if anybody says anything bad about you, I'm the first to fight. I'm like, that's my friend you're talking about, like, how dare you? You know, like, how actually dare you? And I will, like, do anything to defend you. None of my friends will ever talk shit about you, because they know how important my friends are to me. And so recently, my friend, well, somebody that I considered my friend, a really good friend of mine actually, came up to me and they were like, my friend was talking shit about you. And I was like, that's interesting. What'd they say? And she was just like, yeah, they were talking about da 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 da, and they were just saying how they don't like you and stuff. Mind you, I've never met this girl in my life. Okay, my friend's friend, maybe met her once in my life, never talked to her, okay? So, okay, girl. But anyways, I was like, interesting. And I reflected and I talked to like my other really close friends, and they were like, our rule that we follow is like, if your friends feel comfortable, if your friend's friend feels comfortable enough to talk shit about you to your friend is creating that environment, okay? They are making it so that that friend of theirs feels like they have a space to talk badly about you, okay? Because I don't know anybody who would just talk shit about their friend's friend to them. Like, nobody would talk badly about my friends to me, because they know that I would be like, first of all, what? And they also just like wouldn't do that, because they know that they would probably get back to the person that you talk shit about. Like, it's just weird to do that unless they felt safe enough to talk shit, you know? So yeah. And so that was the first red flag, right? But I was like, whatever. I just didn't really like, you know what I'm saying? And then my friend, she was like, da 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 da, like, that's what she said. And I was like, okay, interesting. Like, what are you doing later today? Like, just asking, like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm gonna go see that friend. So you're gonna go see the friend that just talked shit about me.
Oh.
Interesting. No, I am judging. I am judging. But, like, why? And so, like, that's the number one thing, is if they lack loyalty towards you. And I'm not saying that, like, if your friend has another friend and has you, and you guys have met and you guys don't necessarily get along, that's fine if she stays friends with the other friend. Like, that's fine. Like, you guys have met and you guys don't get along. But if it's a one-sided beef and that friend is always talking shit about you, and that friend like your friend's friend is always talking shit about you, always trying to like say some ratty shit about you, and you guys have never really met, you guys have never really talked, it's coming from nowhere, she, like, the girl spreads rumors about you, blah blah blah, and she stays friends with that, I think that that's weird as shit. And you guys can have your own opinions on that, but I think that that is really sus and really strange. That's weird. The next thing, okay, that I've experienced is whenever they get a man, like if you're friends with a girl and they get a man, right? And all of a sudden they're obsessed with that man. That man is the highest of all tiers that they could ever get. Like, you have showed loyalty to your friend time and time again, and all of a sudden that man has replaced you. Tell me that's not fucking weird. Like, okay, I had this one friend who was boy crazy. Like, you know how there's girls, right? I love my girls. But she was a boy's girl. She was obsessed with the male specimen. Like, I've never seen anything like it before. Like, every single time a male would come up, she'd be like, and like her face would turn red as ever, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm mortified right now. And yeah, she was just like obsessed, right? Obsessed with male and male attention and male validation, whatever the fuck. And she one time had this boyfriend, or whatever you want to call it, okay? And we went to go visit him somewhere. I don't remember where it was. We went to go visit him, okay? And we both waved at him, and apparently it was like some really important event or something. Oh please. It was never that deep, but we waved at him. And he was heated as fuck. Like, he like looked like bro, calm down. But anyways, he was heated, and he later on texted her and was like, that was really weird how you guys waved, that really embarrassed me, blah blah blah. And my friend did not stick up for me or her, first of all, but me. She said, yeah, I already got mad at her for waving, that was really weird. What? First of all, your man's a baby. For a wave, he's crying. Oh my god, spare me, boo. But second of all, you're gonna throw me under the bus like that? Like, you also waved. Like, let's not pretend like that didn't happen. Like, we were both our hands shut up and made some movements, okay? So I don't want to hear it. And here's my thing. A friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. You can't be friends with the whole planet and still have my back. There's some people that are not gonna like me and are gonna do me dirty. Like, I think that friends who, like, you know those people that are like, oh, like, I'm gonna be friends with them because they didn't do me dirty. Like, they're nice to me, so they're nice. They're nice to me. They're not nice to anyone else, but they're nice to me, so, like, they're my friend. And I'm just like, interesting. Like, sure, keep them as their friend, but you're gonna lose me in the meantime, so have fun with that. And this brings me into, like, the third or whatever bad friend. The jealous people can take their jealousy, shove it up to their gat and around the corner, okay? So the same friend, right, who was obsessed with males and stuff, every single time a man would approach me instead of her, she had something to say. She'd be like, oh, it's because my hair wasn't done right. Like, if my hair was done right, they would have approached me, not you. Like, and it wasn't necessarily exactly said like that, but that intent was there. That was the point, but it was sneaky. You know, it was very sneaky and sly. And I was like, I see what you did there, and we're not gonna look past that.
Bitch, I see what you did there. I know.
POV, I did look past that. But yeah, or like say, oh, this actually did happen. Like, a man approached her like 5 months ago, okay? And then a guy would come up to me one day, and then he would come up to me the second day, and like a different one would come up to me a second day, and I'd be like, oh, this is so weird, why are they like talking to me and stuff? And she'd be like, that's so weird they're approaching you, but remember whenever that guy came up to me like 5 months ago, like remember that, so like technically we're tied. I'm like, it was never a competition. It was never a competition. Like, I don't care if there's males coming up to me. Better yet, I'd rather a lady come up to me, because then I can become friends with them. Like, I'm not trying to get a roster. And she literally calls like the males who like come up to her. She's like, I have a roster now. So I have a roster. Like, you've gotten like 2 men come up to you, but you know, I got a roster. I'm like, I don't really give a shart. I don't really give a dookie shart right now what you have. Anyway, but yeah, I was like, this is very interesting. Funny how no one asked. And I remember I had this other friend, so this is a completely different friend. We went out to a restaurant that was kind of on the pricier side, to be totally honest. I don't really know what I was doing there. And it was like, I just graduated high school, so like I really don't know what I was doing there. But anyway, I went with my 3 friends, and I was in a 3-friend trio. Like, it was me and these 2 other people, 2 other girls who were actually facing lesbian allegations. So like, I don't really know what I was doing there either. Funny how that keeps happening. Anyway, but we were at the restaurant, and I was like, damn, like these prices are kind of crazy. But there was this guy at the other side of the restaurant, like sitting in a corner with his friend, and I just looked at him for a second. Like, I was just like, oh, he's kind of like in his 30s, like pfft. And I didn't really think anything. I just looked over, like just like how I'm looking over here right now. Like, I was just looking around my like location. I was like, where's the nearest exit? Just kidding. I'm like crashing. I'm a 3rd wheel right now, guys. But anyway, yeah, and then a waiter, like a server, comes up to us, and he's like, oh, the guy in the corner over there at that booth over there wants to pay for you. And I was like, pay for who? And he was like, you. And I was like, me? He wants to pay for my ass? Okay. Like, and then my 2 other friends were like, why would he want to pay for her? Like, why would he want to do that? Like, why just her? Like, that's really weird and really weird. Like, they were pressed, and I was like, stay pressed. I'm going for free today. Just kidding. I literally was like, oh, that's really nice of him, but I got my own, like, but if he really wanted to, like, he could get like a little dessert for us all to share, because I'm so kind. But yeah, I was like, yeah, like, that's really nice of him. Like, if you know, he wants, we could get like a little dessert for all 3 of us to share or whatever. And my friends were like, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, boo hoo. And I remember like okay, so this trio caused a lot of traumatizing friendship shart for me to happen. Okay, so the first thing, they would always hang out without, remember, they were facing lesbian allegations. Okay, so like, but not the lesbian part. Okay, the part that I was a 3rd wheel. Okay, that was the part. Anyway, so they would hang out all the time without me. Okay, like constantly. Every weekend they were living it up, probably busting it down. And I was honestly never invited. And then they would pull up. The next time we all hang out, they would pull up and they would be like, remember that one time, like me and you, not me, like those 2, they were like, yeah, we went to the movies, and they started like talking about the movie, and they started doing like this analysis on it and blah blah blah. And I was like, I have no idea what we're talking about right now, because I wasn't invited. And then they would be like, yeah, and remember that one time we went camping and da da da. Guess who wasn't invited to that either? We went to the restaurant. I wasn't invited again. Probably because they thought that all the men would want me, but whatever. But yeah, like, it would just keep happening over and over. And I feel like that is a fat red flag. Like, if they don't want you there, like, once in a while, okay, like, if you guys are doing something that I'd have no interest in, like, I don't know, like crochet, like, yeah, don't invite me because I'm not trying to go. Like, invite your girl sometimes. Like, and if you really don't want to invite me, then you don't want me there. You don't want me there, so stop being my friend. And like, they would like assure me whenever I'd be like, why don't, like, is there a reason why you guys don't invite me? And they're like, no, like, we just thought you wouldn't like this. You think I wouldn't like anything that you guys do? Like, please spare the lie. But anyway, yeah, like, they would just always like, but I think that they just liked humiliating me. Like, I don't know. Like, they, like, as soon as I was like, I think that this is like a you guys thing. Maybe they wanted me there to like spare their lesbian allegations. You know what I mean? Like, if I would leave, then it would be like for sure that they're a couple. So they just wanted me to stay. I don't fucking know. But anyway, that was really an embarrassing time in my life. And the fact that I just like stayed and let that happen, like, I don't know, cringe. Like, another thing that would like happen with this trio, okay? I feel like trios never work. Comment if you've ever had a trio that worked, because mine for some reason don't work. Like, I'm always, you know how like there's always like the sidewalk and then there's the grass walker. I'm the grass walker in question. Like, I'm always the grass walker, or I'm like, you know, behind. Like, the sidewalk is like this wide and for some reason they're walking like this and I'm walking in the back. Like, no. But here's the thing, okay? Here's some sneaky little trio things that, like, if they're doing this to you, like, you're most likely not invited in the trio, okay? So one thing that, like, I never really noticed, well, I did notice, but I was like, okay, like, maybe not, okay? But anyway, so, like, so whenever we would sit down, right, they would be talking like in a discussion that we could all talk about, right? Like, we could, like, it would be like, I don't know, like anything, like we could, like, just a common conversation that we could all talk about, and they would only be looking at each other. Like, I was nowhere to be found in that conversation. Like, we would all be talking, but they would only be looking at each other. And I was like, what the hell? I'm right here, guys. But yeah, they would only be looking at each other, or like if I did talk, they would like look at each other like, did she really just say that? Like, they would literally look at each other and like, I'm like, oh my gosh, please stop embarrassing me. But yeah, like little things like that, I feel like you gotta pick up on and skedaddle because you're embarrassing yourself. Like, here's the thing, I worked at this high school the other day, which is so random. Like, okay, I work with like little kids, like I work elementary, right? I worked at a high school the other day. I don't know why I did that. I was actually sharding my pants the entire time. I was so scared. But anyway, I realized that there's a lot of embarrassing shit that goes down there. Like, friend groups are so hard over there in high school. And a lot of the time I did see trios, and I did see the duet in the trio. I did see it. Like, it's very, very obvious from like an outside perspective. Like, whenever you're in the trio, sometimes, yeah, you can tell and you feel left out, but whenever you are watching from like the outskirts and you're watching it happen, oh, you can see who is left out there, babe. You can see it. And that's when you gotta pack your bags and leave, okay? Because it looks really embarrassing. And like, honestly, like any friend who like sharts on you or tries to make you feel embarrassed, like any friend who thinks that everything that you do is embarrassing is a fat ass red flag, okay? Because I used to think that my friend who thought everything was embarrassing was just kind of like shy and whatever. No, they thought I was embarrassing, okay? Like, I could literally like make a facial expression and they're like, oh my god, don't do that, that's embarrassing. Or they're just like embarrassed of you. Oh my god, this is giving me trauma. Like, I hate that. Like, okay, so whenever I was in like middle school, I guess, there was this one friend that I had that would literally like, they would do anything, like they would just thought that I was so embarrassing to be around. Like, oh my god. And they had like such an obsession with being popular. I think that any insecure person is really hard to be friends with. I think that any insecure friend is really hard to be friends with because, yeah, like it's, I feel bad saying that because insecure people like deserve friends too, but y'all can have them because I don't want it. Because I've had friends before that were insecure and oh my god, that is traumatizing. That is trauma in a salad, you know what I'm saying? And I ate that up. Because like, I don't know, like they're so unsure of themselves and they're always looking for external validation that you're gonna be thrown under the bus at least 3 times a day. Because one time we were going on this, oh my god, we were going on this field trip, okay, with the school. And we were going, like, I'm from Canada and we're going out of province, okay? Oh my god. And we had to like find rooms to stay in at the hotel. So you have to stay with 4 people. So it's you plus 3 others. And I had a trio, which we all know that I keep finding myself in these fucking trios. Like I've been in at least 3 trios in my life that just were like doggy shard. But anyway, and we were supposed to be like 3 of us, and then we would just find another person. You know, there's always that one person that like kind of just gets like, you know, is like doesn't really have like many friends, or like doesn't want to room with their friends, or like whatever. There's always that one person, which is cool, right? So I was like, okay, I'm counting on my 2 other friends, and one of my friends stayed loyal to me. This friend was insecure as fuck and wanted validation so fucking bad and ruined with the popular people. And I don't hold a grudge on this. It's fine. No, it's really fine. Like, it's okay. Was insecure as fuck. Like, I really don't hold a grudge. However, like, at the time, I was like, bro, what? Like, what the dog are you talking about? And the popular people had to come up to me and tell me that. They were like, by the way, your friend is rooming with us. Like, she just texted us. And they also thought it was weird as fuck. They were judging too. They were like, why would she do that? Like, what? But anyway, but yeah, I feel like insecure people are so hard to be friends with. And just like, I have always been kind of more like if there's a norm at school, like I kind of deviated. Like, I liked K-pop. Okay, I'm Asian, right? Like, all these things, I kind of deviated from the, you know, the norm of whatever the fuck. I had a BTS poster in my locker, and then oh my god, side story. One time I had the BTS poster in my locker, and this random guy who was like came to school on drugs, and he came up to me like high as a kite, and he came over to me and he was like, you got boys in your locker? I was like, what? And he was like, but I was scared. He looked like he was gone. So I was like, yeah, I got, like, they're BTS. And he was like, I love BTS. And he just was like saying that over and over. And I was like, all right. And I just shut the locker and like left. I was like, oh my God, you're scaring me. But anyway, that's like a side story. But what was I even talking about? But anyways, yeah, like I've always kind of like been deviated from the norm, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, K-pop is kind of cool now, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, that stuff was not cool. Everyone and their mom were sharding on me for BTS. They were like, you don't even know what they're saying. And I'm like, I don't even care. They're just cool, okay? But anyway, yeah, like, and my friends were not with it. Like, they thought I was so embarrassing for some reason. Like, whenever people would talk about, like, oh, like, they would ask them, like, your friend likes BTS, and they were like, but we don't. We don't. We stand with we don't do any of that stuff. We're not K-pop fans. And I was like, oh my God, you guys, like, live a little. Like, live a little. It's fine. But anyway, yeah, they were just not cool with the BTS stuff. They didn't like anything that deviated from the norm. Like, if I laughed, like, in class or something, or like I laughed at a joke that someone said, they're like, oh my God, stop laughing. Like, that's so embarrassing. Please stop. And they would like cringe. And I was like, you guys aren't living. Like, you guys are finding me so embarrassing, then don't be my fucking friend. But at the time, honestly, to be honest, I thought that it was weird to not have friends. Like, I would rather everyone be, like, all my friends think I'm fucking weird and, like, be talking behind my back than to have no friends. Because I just didn't, like, I knew in my own mind that I was lonely as fuck. Like, you know, whenever you're, like, sitting at the cafeteria table and you have a whole bunch of people around you, but you still feel so lonely that you would rather be, like, sitting in the, like, bathroom stall eating your lunch alone, because at least you would feel a little bit less lonely, than rather than like sitting with a bunch of people and like nobody talking to you, nobody acknowledging you, nobody listening to anything that you're saying, people cutting you off, like you just feel unwanted. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt, you know? And like, yeah, that's kind of like how the friendships were, but I just would rather be with people around me because like I didn't want like my external, like I didn't want like me, because like me sitting with people at least didn't make it look like I was lonely, you know what I mean? Like I felt lonely, but at least I was sitting around people, so it looked like I was around people. You know what I mean? Like, at least I didn't look and feel lonely. Yeah. Like, I just didn't want the external to validate what I was feeling internally, I guess. But now, obviously, like, I can do everything on my own. I go shopping on my own. I go, like, fucking bowling on my own. Like, I love being by myself. But at the time, whenever I was, like, a little teen, I was like, oh my God, like, I cannot be by myself. Like, that's literally embarrassing. But yeah. And I used to have, like, really bad test anxiety. And I remember one time I had this, it was, like, every time before a test, I was having a panic attack. And my friends were like, this is embarrassing. Like, they were, like, literally humiliated by me. And I was like, oh my God. Sorry to inconvenience you guys. But yeah. And, like, I sound like I hold a grudge against all these people. I don't hold a grudge at all, actually. Like, I don't care. I'm just glad that I don't live like that anymore. Like, I have friends that, like, care about me. But... and if you're wondering about my crash out of the century, it wasn't even like I was yelling at, I was crashing out to my friend recently, last weekend, at a sporting event because I was feeling so disrespected.
Crazy? That shit is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. That shit got me so hot.
I felt like I had time traveled back to my middle school relationships where we were putting men before our friends, where we were letting our, like, while we were talking badly about, like, gossiping each about, like she was gossiping about me behind my back. Like, that's just what it felt like. And I tried to, like, talk about it. And I feel like this is another thing. Like, if they don't listen to what you're saying and your real valid concerns in the friendship, and they're just like, oh, it's fine, like, we'll talk about it later, or, like, they're just kind of like, oh, it's not a big deal, that's, like, a huge red flag, because, like, you're not caring about what I'm saying. Like, you're not hearing me. You're not listening to anything that I'm saying. You're not even listening to listening. You're listening to, like, judge and get your voice in. But she wasn't even doing that. Like, she was just like, if I'd be like, I didn't like that you did that, she'd be like, look at those guys' shoes, those are so interesting, I wonder what kind of brand that is. And I'm like, that's not what I just asked you, and that's not what I just said. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you find some sort of comfort in my misery. Honestly, I love that I've had, like, some unfortunate events happen to me, because now I can, like, share them and teach people what to look out for. And, like, I feel like it's really hard to, like, look for the red flags in your friendship, because sometimes you're just like, I have a friend, and you don't really notice the red flags. But really look at your situation, because the more and more you let simple shit slide, the more and more they'll push to get more shit to slide. They're like, how much further can I just get this? Like, if I could just, like, get this, oh my God. A couple just saw me being like, they're just like, if I could just let this one more thing slide, and they'll just push the boundaries until you, like, literally physically cannot take how annoying that is anymore, and you just blow up, and then you feel bad for blowing up, and it's just, like, a whole thing. So just mark your boundaries from the very beginning and stay firm on them. Know your worth, all that good stuff. Anyways, yeah, that's basically it. I'm giving myself the ick now because I feel like I'm, like, a motivational speaker now, but anyways. But yeah, that's it.